Hello, this is the Midday News. Thanks for joining us. The senior executive management team of the new island, led by Governor Chair Julius Chen, has been cautioned to maintain the oath of service due to concerns about mismanagement of funds and inappropriate behavior. Governor Chen discussed these concerns in a special meeting on January 9, 2024, stressing the importance of loyalty, adherence to directives, and a commitment to ethical public service. He warned that strict consequences would be imposed for any wrongdoing and emphasized the need to protect public funds. Acting Provincial Administrator Richard Andia expressed appreciation for the Governor's reminder and assured full compliance from the senior public servants with the government's directives. The issue of water supply affecting communities in the Mosby South electorate is due to water PNG having less capacity to issue water, says member for Mosby South Justin Tachenko. Tachenko said he has done his part to fix the problem, but the responsibility is with water PNG, and because of the lack of capacity, it cannot cater for not only Mosby South, but other electorates in the Port Moresby as well. Therefore, the MP is urging Water PNG to come forward with a plan containing also the budget needed to ensure they restore water back to affect communities in Mosby South.
We do not have any say whatsoever. The issue is Water PNG has no more capacity to supply water throughout the whole city. The city has outgrown the current water supply and system that is currently in place. So it's up to Water PNG to come up with a plan for the next 5 years to fix the problem. Get the submission into NEC, get the submission into the government, and get the government to fund it immediately.
More opportunities lie for grade 12 students nationwide as the government confirms the expansion of the science, technology, engineering and mathematics scholarship program. The government-funded scholarship such as STEM is the government's commitment for boosting education, also creating international opportunities for young Papua New Guineans. Marape affirmed the government's commitment to expanding educational opportunities following extensive discussions with Education Secretary Dr. Uke Kombra, focusing on the Department of Education's 2023 outcomes and the 2024 priorities. Education Secretary Kombra conveyed that the existing STEM students are excelling in their studies in the USA, promoting the allocation of 10 million kina from STEM scholarship program this year. Meantime, there are plans to explore scholarship opportunities for STEM grade 12 school leavers in other countries, including Hungary, China, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and more. The United Liberation Movement for West Papua has declared a boycott of Indonesia election set for February 14th. President Benny Wenda and Prime Minister of the West Papua Traditional Government Anderson Waromi issued a joint statement calling on West Papuans to adhere to the Indonesian government system and constitution. Wenda and Waromi stated that at the ULMWP Congress, over 5,000 Papuans from all 7 customary religions and representing all political formations gathered in Jayapura to decide their own future. Both leaders have asked the Indonesian government to allow West Papua to finally exercise its right to self-determination. An artist from Wollongong has given new meaning to Reaching for the Stars. His work has been included in a time capsules bound for Moon. But after a successful rocket launch, the mission has suffered a major technical issue, and with less than 40 hours of fuel left, scientists are scrambling to figure out what to do next.
All eyes to the sky as the Peregrine lunar lander embarks on a journey into space. But unlike previous launches, this one contains some of humanity's finest creative works. And one of them was made in this tiny art studio on the New South Wales south coast.
It was a work that dealt with different subjects from Space Odyssey. I've actually included that, so there's something kind of providential about having that included in this work.
The Wollongong High School art teacher is one of 30,000 creators from around the world whose art has been digitised for the time capsule.
It's incredible being a part of that.
Soon after last night's launch, the spacecraft experienced technical issues, including a fuel leak. Engineers are now deciding whether to hard land the rocket or to let it pass the moon to gather data. This project was conceived by Canadian physicist Samuel Peralta.
We're taking a slice of contemporary life, our literary, our arts, our music, some film, and for this time, for this era, we're sending it up.
But whether the time capsule's final destination is the moon or beyond, it's an out-of-this-world experience for John Kennedy.
It still amazes me that, and we're absolutely grateful that they, created this opportunity to include our work.
Artists reaching for the final frontier.
Time is running out to find one of Australia's most wanted men, prompting a desperate plea for the family to his alleged victim. James Delamangas allegedly fled to Greece after the fatal stabbing of a man at the nightclub in Sydney's southwest in 1999, and a deadline to prosecute him in Greece is about to expire.
After almost 25 years on the run, and if he's not found in the next 4 months, he may never face a trial.
Time is crucial. I believe there's people, both here and in Greece, who are covering him up.
Police believe James Delamangas stabbed 32-year-old father George Giannopoulos to death in a Belmore nightclub on April 25, 1999. But before they could arrest him, he fled to Greece. They've since been working with Greek authorities who agreed to prosecute him for the murder themselves, but they haven't been able to find him.
My parents buried their son and their lives changed forever, and he's living, walking free.
Unlike in Australia, Greece has a 25-year statute of limitations for murder, and that is about to run out.
Intelligence suggests that he is almost certainly remains in Greece.
In a last-ditch attempt to track him down, police have appealed to the Greek community both here and overseas in their native language.
Τώρα είναι η ώρα να εμφανιστείτε και να βοηθήσετε την αστυνομία να βγάλει έναν επικίνδυνο άνθρωπο από τους δρόμους σας.
If James Delamangas isn't found before the Greek deadline expires in April, Australian authorities say they won't be giving up. It is still possible for him to be prosecuted for the murder here in Australia if he ever leaves Greece.
We will not stop and we will be relentless until Mr. Delamangas is in custody.
They're urging anyone with friends or relatives in Greece to circulate his image before it's too late.
In sports, Kalibobo United Football Club of Port Moresby hosted a 3-week tournament to scout raw talent in Madang province. The tournament ended on a high note. The tournament was a fundraiser opportunity for Kalibobo FC to raise funds and enter the National Premier League season this year. A team formed during the event was Kalibobo host team under the mentorship of coach Ezekiel Huambai. The selected players from the various clubs and gave a structured game plan to steer them through the entire tournament. The team made the finals. Naika Kalibobo defeated Sesemo FC, while in the main finals, Crosilas FC defeated Kalibobo host team 1-0. They walked away with 2,000 kina. There were no major sponsors for the competition. All trophies and awards were provided with funding from registration fees. KUFC is now seeking corporate support for what will be an annual sporting event. Most sportswomen are choosing to return to their athletic career after having a baby. But navigating pregnancy and the postpartum period isn't straightforward, with limited research available.
When marathon runner Ellie Pashley became pregnant with her daughter Tiggy, now 1.5, she knew she wanted to resume her career postpartum, but the physiotherapist wasn't sure where to start.
I found it really difficult to get information about what I should be doing from a training perspective whilst pregnant. So a lot of that ended up boiling down to self-research because I asked a few people and a lot of people were unsure.
There are Australian guidelines for exercise during pregnancy, but they don't account for elite athletes.
I know Athletics Australia are using sort of myself and a couple of others who were going through pregnancy at the same time to try and help work out what it is that athletes need through that pregnancy period.
Australian women's water polo player Keisha Gophers had her daughter Taleri in March. She resumed training 6 weeks later.
I probably came back a little bit early, and of course as an athlete all I want to do is train more, you know, lift heavier, do faster swimming, but you have to make sure that everything's on the same page. And my pelvic floor just simply wasn't on the same page yet because, you know, I just had a baby.
While she's now seen massive physical gains, the mental load is challenging.
Lack of sleep, heightened emotions, breastfeeding, trying to pump, trying to work out the logistics of babysitting.
Pashley and Gophers are hoping to make the team for the Paris Olympics, carrying extra motivation.
It's been really nice to have something as well after you have a child that you do for you.
When I'm struggling or I find something really, really tough, I think about my daughter and how she's my engine to be the best player I can be, to be the best mum I can be, and I didn't have that before, so I think mums in sport have that extra something.
And in sport, every little bit extra helps.
And that ends the Midday News Update. Join us for more at 6 p.m.